One. Welcome back to another session of Candlekeep Mysteries. This time we have the British dynamic duo on our side
Well,
today. You return back after a surreal story of having ventured over to the moon and having done that and successfully gathering up your resolve, you returned back over to Candlekeep proper, where you were considering fighting against Hubris. However, before doing that, you had some time to consult the books, and this is mostly to catch up Growl with the pieces of information that was found. A few pieces of information that they were able to locate. One, while Jujiro was talking over to an alternate reality version of themselves, they were able to discover that these books are not physically transporting your bodies into like a separate plane of existence. Rather, your body is being moved to a harmless little box of sorts to contain you during the duration of the book. And you're just entering a sort of collective mindscape where all of you are
uh,
envisioning these dreamscapes together.
just like
This is
Honkai
what makes
Star
it
Rail.
possible. Yeah, it's like Honkai Star Rail, exactly. And just definitely not made
Uh-huh.
at the same time. 100% not. It wasn't even released yet. Um, thus allowing multiple people to be inside of the same dreamscape at a time with no conflict. Um, you also, dang it, what did this DF mean? I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, Professor Yogar was very interested in after it being brought to their attention by both Nameless and Jojira that the you were able to basically almost open, and no, Professor Yogar has not been able to achieve anything remotely like that. Their belief is that you, Growl specifically, have an unusually specific power, which is that the entire Candlekeep library is likely in what's considered a large desire field of sorts. That is, even from the very beginning, when you entered the library, it knew what books you wanted, it knew what information you were seeking, and this desire field of sorts was like very small at the beginning. In its current state, the desire field of the book is very strong, and inside of the books, it's even stronger. Um, After your meeting with your friend, the Oni, who is a
Zero.
real Oni Okai, who sustains their belief through the collective consciousness of other people, you have sort of unlocked a sort of loophole that is through inner alchemy, you have learned to fully actualize and believe in yourself in the same way a yokai gains their powers by other people believing in them. In other words, by simply believing in yourself hard enough, combined with the powers of the desire field around you, you are able to do the impossible. Row, row, fight the power. And that about brings us to where we are. Unless there's any questions or books you want to enter into, then you set aside the Hubris book for now and pull up the Book of Riddles.
I like to think that narratively this happens while the rest of the party are just like, talking to Yorgar and Valen. I definitely buy that. Ray got
Yeah,
bored.
he got distracted.
Paul's
Yep.
growled twice. We should go into this book and do this.
Yeah, I think we're smart enough to do this. Harry, my girl.
And if
Luke,
we're not
my
smart
boy.
enough for the riddle, then you can just like, I don't know, make an answer and
Yeah,
believe in the answer.
I'm really good at that. I'm great at that.
I mean, when you think about it, there's actually no way we can lose any of these riddles. We should go there right now. We don't need them.
Yeah, they don't need us. They're just yamming away. Oh,
Yap, yap, yap. Desire Field. Yap, yap, yap. Honkai Star
okay.
Rail. Young, yap, yap, yap.
What the hell is that? Sounds stupid.
What even is a Honkai? Like, freaking clown?
Hmm.
I think
Honky
it's
Star Rail?
I think it's a
don't know.
money transfer system.
Yeah, it sounds like it's bad for your wallet. And bad for people with gambling addictions.
Send us in, Chief.
So, you go ahead, you open up the Book of Riddles, and you find yourself getting pulled in by that familiar sensation that you have learned to accept. Arriving through a dusty landscape, you have visions of outrunning a terrible sandworm. You find
Ew.
yourself originally looking over what appears to be a zoomed out version of the sandstorm. And this is mostly just for fun, so that way you can kind of see what was at the center of the sandstorm, which was the following. This is not the location you find yourself being dropped at, but you sort of find yourself overlooking it, right, as your mind is being transported through. Oh, whoops. I have to just make sure the scene is working. Okay, I knew I was smart to double check it out. In the center of the sandstorm, through your mind's eyes, you find yourself being transported through the book at blazing speed. Through it, you find that at the center of the sandstorm was a large necropolis that goes by the name, of course, of Azabar.
Ooh. Go
Your
through.
mind races through as it enters straight into the necropolis proper, though this appears to be only a small chunk of it that floats cautiously, precariously, always at the center of the violent tempest. You then find yourself here. Ignore that music. That's not the right music. You
Woo!
can put yourself down there at the bottom.
From where though? Here? Or like here?
Yeah. That's a good spot.
Man, I hate the desert. My feet get so crusty.
Crusty. I don't know. I don't know if your feet are getting crusty by being in the desert, you might need some medical attention.
You- I don't think I wear shoes. Let me check. Yeah, I. Bare feet. Let me see.
Oh yeah,
My
you are just
mama.
walking
Oh yeah.
barefoot.
I'm just walking in the desert like this.
I mean,
Is that not crusty? Oh no.
Crusty.
have you just tried flying?
I can't fly. I can teleport. Woo.
You see that there is only one spot forward, and as you approach Grau, it almost seems to materialize from the sand itself as you see a
Ugh.
sphinx arrive.
Big
And
kitty.
it says to both of you, "Oh, we haven't had guests in quite some time. Hello there."
Hi. What are you?
I am one of, you might consider me a keeper of sorts. I found this chunk of this necropolis here in the air, and I set aside a residence here, along with two of my kin. As manifesting from the sands nearby, another set of two sphinxes show up as well.
One of them
One.
does not look like the other.
They're an inclusive Sphinx group. It's fine.
The red negative space on the eagle makes it like from far away. I thought it was like a headpiece or like hair, like it had ginger hair.
I mean, I think I could pull it off though, honestly.
Yeah, actually, kind of looks like
If you
some kind of,
squint.
like Cleopatra headpiece.
Yeah, I'm squinting at it, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
Ronald
I'm
McDonald.
My
zooming
vision board.
out, and I'm not seeing it.
There's a picture of Ronald McDonald.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe your vision board needs work.
Maybe.
You see that the Sphinx seems to pause for a moment and go, "Oh my, and you both are not from here. Not merely from this desert. You're not from here."
I've been told not to tell people where I'm from.
Ah, I see. Well, in whichever case, regardless of your reasoning for being here, if you seek to enter into the tomb, I'm afraid I will grant you no passage unless you entertain me by solving a few riddles of ours. It is but our favorite pastime and dreadfully entertains the boring years occasionally.
Well, me and my friend here, we're super good at riddles. Give us everything you got.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's funny you should say that you want us to entertain you, because we're only here because well, I'm not bored, but, sometimes things are boring.
So we just like to be challenged, intellectually challenged.
Exactly that.
Please make a persuasion check, Grau.
It's not deception. Wait, persuasion. Wait, sorry, wrong well.
49. Your plus 25 from that ring is making your ability checks insane. As you speak confidently, Growl. Does Growl actually believe this, to be clear?
Yeah,
Okay,
she
yeah.
does.
The reality itself is shaping around Growl's self-perception of themselves. Growl genuinely believes in their love for puzzles and challenges and mental and intellectual stimulation. And thus their words not only have the force of charisma behind them, but the force of the reality itself shaping their confidence and the way that others perceive that confidence. As the Sphinx seems to be thoroughly delighted by this. Oh, how fantastic. Then allow me to generously set forth how this will work. Me and my compatriots here will each stand by, and each of us has one riddle, of which certain projections will be a part of. You have as long as you'd like. However, one of you must definitively declare your answer to the Sphinx with the riddle answer that you pose. Should you be correct, you will receive a small boon, and that one riddle shall be finished. But should you be wrong with your declaration, then some of your temporal force shall be ours in exchange. Does that...
How
Yeah,
much
bring it on.
temporal? But we're not supposed to just immediately agree to things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, always negotiate your price first. But yeah. How much temporal are we talking about here?
I was thinking about nibbling off just 90% of your remaining lifespan.
How about 2%?
I apologize, but that's insufficient.
10%. You gotta give us more
Sphinx
tries. There's 3 of you.
the Sphinx does not seem to be particularly inclined to the numbers. They think that you're joking with the numbers basically, as they kind of like do a light little laugh.
And how good are these boons that you can provide?
The boon is simply to allow you to have an easier time with one of the other riddles, should you be struggling with one.
Oh, so like earning clues.
Okay, this is playing me. I might have blinked and missed something. So is there like, there's 3 riddles, and we can get clues, or do we have to answer riddles to get clues for one riddle?
You answer one of the riddles if you want to potentially get a boon that will give you a clue for a different riddle. Thus, if you are stuck on one, you can simply try going to another one.
Right.
So, do we get anything for just answering all the riddles without asking for hints?
No, not particularly.
And how many riddles do we have to answer?
There is one for each of us.
So 3.
Right, okay. So, 3 riddles, and you take our life force if we get wrong how many?
Any one of them. Whoever makes the declaration shall be the one who puts themselves at risk. But what good is an answer if there is no risk? Ultimately, that simply leads to wild guessing, and we can't have that.
Holly can speak, right?
Holly begins just making trumpet noises.
The language of my people.
Well,
Well, take one for the team, Holly.
so, are you sure we can do this, Growl?
Let's see what the riddles are.
Ooh, good idea.
That's fair. Ultimately, the only consequence of not answering is that you simply cannot get past us into the chamber before you. Although, they kind of like pause. It seems as though you're not looking for the contents of what's in here. Merely,
The content,
Oh,
exactly.
ah, that's fascinating. It really is such a strange world you're from. They seem to be able to delve into your histories.
You say that, but there's
Violation.
a lot of people like you in my world. Gatekeepers, similar temperament, cryptic. What's the first riddle?
Perhaps you should introduce them to me later. Very well. Let us abide by. They motion to the other two, who each like dive down into position, and they all just take like a resting pose. Simply ask any one of us for their specific riddle, and they shall provide.
What are your names?
My name is, and they speak inside of some guttural, low language that doesn't have a really good representation inside of text form.
Oh, but I can totally understand it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't tell you what it is though as a DM because since I can't type it, I can't say it, of course.
Alright, we'll call you Mufasa. The one on the right is Simba.
No,
and
no,
the
no,
left
no.
one is Zazu. It's perfect.
I need at least one of them to be called Wingy.
No, that's lame.
You know, we can have our own
Colonel
names for all
Sanders.
of them.
Alright. Alright. Let's go. I'm going to Simba.
Alright, you go over to Simba.
Simba.
Greetings. It is good to see some new faces here.
Hello, Big Wingy. I can't say your name, so this will be what I call you.
So, what kind of riddle have you got for us?
Here is the one I pose. That you see that a massive scale appears right here. On the base of it, there appears to be an empty dial. There seems to be a bag on one side of it at the moment. And they tell you the following. A bag of feathers, each heavy as stone. Balance it perfect. No lines to be shown.
Each heaviest and balance it.
The bag is currently weighing down one side of the scale, to be clear. It is not perfectly balanced at this moment.
Wait, what is that on the scale right now?
Sorry, 1 second. I had to correct a typo. On that, right there appears to be a bag, a brown burlap bag that is containing something that you have not yet taken a look at.
And we have to put a bag of feathers on the other scale, right? Is that right?
To be clear, this is a bag. Whether or not it's a bag of feathers, you don't know, but it is a bag.
And this is an
Yeah,
actual...
but I mean, like, do we? It's kind of like we have a bag of feathers that we have to put on the scale, and it's not to do with that bag. I mean, it's not to do with the
Holly-
one that's already on it.
Holly looks at the bag that's already on it. It's full of feathers.
Okay, and so it's actually tipped over.
Yes, currently it is down on that side.
Okay, all right. I have to. I'm a visual person. I need to.
I
Okay.
open the bag and try to...
You look inside the bag. There is feathers inside.
I'd like to pick up one of the feathers.
All right, you pick up one of the feathers. As far as you can tell, the feather weighs as much as you'd expect a feather to weigh. There's nothing suspicious about its weight.
Pick up another. Do they weigh the same?
Then
Yes.
why is each heavy as stone?
You pick up a second feather, and indeed, this feather weighs exactly as much as the first one did. There appears to be no difference.
Heavy as stone.
I try and lift the entire bag to support all of its weight. What happens to the scale?
As in, like, you lift the bag off the scale entirely?
Yes.
You lift up the bag in its entirety, and the scales are now completely balanced at this moment. Just to make it clear, though.
Are there any lines anywhere? Outside of like the scale, are there any like obvious lines?
There is one thing. You take a look over at the bottom of the scale here in search of something that has like a line. You know how most scales have like little line readings to indicate if they are balanced or not? This
Yeah.
one seems to lack the lines on the reading. Although it does have like a little arrow pointing over upward, as one normally would find on a scale. But there are no lines indicating whether or not the scale is truly balanced.
Oh.
Hmm.
Um, could we test the weight of each side? Like, okay, maybe if I jump on here, and then,
Right.
and if I jump on the other side, is there like a difference in how much they tip over?
You test it out on each side that you were on with nothing on the other. The scale goes down inside of the one you're standing on. It seems that both sides tip down exactly the same amount.
Okay, so seems like it's solid.
What if I put like one feather on one of the sides?
You put one feather on one of the sides and it tips down very heavily again.
What if I put one
And
feather
then-
on the other side?
Yeah.
You see that when there's one feather on one side and one on the other, the scale is perfectly balanced.
So we can't
Oh,
just half it? Like,
yeah, maybe.
oh no.
Let's just half it. Because
Like, I'm just like, are we overthinking it?
I mean,
Do we not just half it?
yeah, because maybe balance it's perfect. Maybe it is the feathers. So yeah.
So you go and reach for half of them. While you're in the process of going for half, Growl, you intuitively, even without counting them, know that there are
An uneven number.
there are. Sorry, give me a second. I think I had the number written down and then I lost it. Please wait a moment.
I have a feeling.
Where is this hiding? Where are you hiding? I had a text document. I was hiding.
I had to do a quick double take then and just check that Crystal hadn't joined and said that.
I was hiding.
I was hiding. 1 second. Huh. Really? What?
Hmm.
Please wait. I was like, oh, I had this text document with the riddle stuff on it. Surely I didn't like lose it because that'd be stupid. Because why would I do that? Why would I lose that? The singular text document that had the specifics on it. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous, right? You would agree? You think that would be ridiculous?
Uh-huh.
Well, I've
You
done
know?
my own silly share of DM stuff, so I'm in no place to judge.
If it's an odd number, what if we just took the needle and then put it on the one that doesn't have as much? Maybe that's like as heavy as stone. Maybe it's made out of feather.
Moment. Where are you? Is it in this document called a user? No, it's not in the document called user. The document user has nothing to do with this. I'm going to search for another 3 minutes and then I'm going to give up and then just go with a number I think it was.
Okay.
Oh, I have an idea.
while Aqua is searching, Ray will suggest that perhaps we also need to balance the bag as well, since a bag of feathers includes a bag. So perhaps we have to like put the bag on one side and
yeah.
add more feathers to the other side. And before we start loading up the feathers, we should put the bag on one side and see how many feathers
Yeah.
is
That's a
equal to
good
the weight of
idea.
the bag.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And since that idea came to me while I was on a train of thought of, well, Holly has the highest intelligence out of all of us. So maybe, like, we could get Holly to give opinions. And immediately after that, I thought of that. So I'm just going to pretend that was Holly's idea.
Sure.
How does Holly express this idea?
Telepathically to Ray, and then Ray's going to claim credit for it, as if it's her own idea.
I kind of like Growl's little trumpet impression a little better. Sorry, your answer's wrong.
Boo.
Maybe that's what it sounds like.
Is it this one? Ah, no, this is something else. But I'm on the right track.
As Holly trumpets, I just say, there'll be more good deeds for you to eat later. I've just had an idea. It's the bag then.
Oh, you're so smart. I can't believe you came up with that all on your own.
Hey, no outside assistance either.
Well, you know, we have to be quite sure we're very smart to come in here, or else it would have been a very silly idea to come in here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. That'd be like not tracking where you saved the sort of document on your computer, even though there's not that many places for it to be. And not naming it something like convenient, such as Riddle or the like. Because who would do that? Who would do that?
Damn, I see there's 2 players here today, so maybe we'll just do the riddles.
Yeah. It's a good thing I had these prepared in advance somewhere. Ready to go. Rage. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna... I think I remember what the number was. Which was...
Which one?
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, I found it. I thought it was a certain number and it wasn't, and it's a good thing I double checked and then I found it. Thank you, ChatGPT. So just to clarify, you had the one feather on each side at this moment, and then Growl, you were grabbing the feathers out of the bag quite rapidly with your extra arms helping you out. Without making an active attempt to do so, your intuition is very strong right now due to your high wisdom. And so you can deduce that there are exactly 108 feathers in total, both in and out of the bag. Are you placing half on one side and half on the other?
Yes.
Let's measure the bag first. Before, well, this is, to save feather loading time.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so you take the feathers back off for a moment. The scale is currently balanced, and you would like to place the bag on one side. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me a moment while I delete this little thing right here. You go ahead and slam the bag down on one side. What would you like to place on the other side?
Nothing.
A single feather.
Oh yeah, sure.
You place a single feather on one side, and the scale is perfectly balanced.
Wait, so if we took it off, if there was nothing on the scales, is it still balanced? Oh no, wait. Duh. It's not. It'd be heavy as a stone. Okay. So, but if there's an even number, wait. So let's try halving it first.
Oh, to be clear, this is just the bag, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the bag. If we take the bag
Okay,
off and then just do the feathers.
And so the feathers are separate. I'll place them on the side here just to make that clear. Yes. Then what I said earlier still continues to apply. I do have one feather on one side.
No,
and
wait. We actually do need to use the bag. I'm just reading it again. So we have to balance the bag. So what we need to do is put as many feathers. If the bag weighs as heavy as one feather, then I'm gonna do maths here. So
Can't we just put
let's see.
like half the feathers on one side, half the feathers on another, and then put the bag in the middle?
No, but you could just put the bag on one side and then take one feather out of the bag and put it on the other side, and then it would be balanced. No, right? No, put it. Put.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
That's right, right?
I mean, maybe.
Okay. So you would like to try throwing 54 feathers on one side and 54 on the other side?
No,
As
no.
No, that's not right.
One
No,
is-
because look, so I have to actually write this down. So the bag itself is as heavy as one, so that counts as one. So we need to, if in order to balance it, then let's see, should be 3. No, but then that doesn't balance. It's like counting as 109 rather than 108. Hmm. Right? I'm not even thinking this right. We have to balance the bag, not just the feathers.
Yeah, I think that counts.
Yeah, so the bag counts as one feather, so it's 109 feathers if you think about it that way.
Okay, so how do we balance it if there's an uneven number of feathers?
Holly, go sit on it.
What I'd like to try is I'd like to put one feather in the bag and one feather on the opposite end of the scale.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So that one bag with one feather in it versus just one feather on the other side?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One bag with one feather versus one singular feather over here. You see that the scale is currently tipped over in favor of the side with the bag.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then if we put another feather on to the other side without the bag.
The scale appears to be balanced.
Yeah.
I don't like the word appears.
Well, you take a look, and while your eyes make it look like it's balanced, there's no like little scale, line to confirm that fact.
No lines to be shown.
I say we
Be-
put the bag in the middle, so here, and then an even number of feathers on each side, and call it and call that our answer. It is my suggestion.
I don't know if that counts. Does that count? Would that count? I guess we could try that.
Because balance it perfect could mean
Yeah.
mean
Sure.
horizontal.
Yeah.
Wait, what happens if we just
Okay.
what happens if we just put the entire bag in the center?
Well, in order then. First, you try putting 54 feathers on each side. And the scale appears to be balanced, though the more objects there are on it, the harder it is to tell because there's more weight. And then you place the bag in the center, and indeed the scale appears to be balanced.
It appears to be. Wait, so there's literally this arrow you've drawn here. That's nothing.
Yeah, it's not pointing to anything. Normally there would be lines there to indicate if the scale is balanced, but there's currently no line of any kind that would show if that's the case.
Put all the 108 feathers in the bag in the center. And what's the result?
Okay, you place the bag in the center. The scale is currently balanced, whether or not the bag is there in the center or not. You placed all 108 feathers, and the scale continues to remain balanced as there is nothing on either side of it.
I don't like this. Appears to be balanced.
I mean, we could do the other riddles. Maybe one of those could give us a heads up.
Sure. Yeah. Let's try it out.
I look forward to your return. I will leave these sitting here for now. I shall inform you about one thing. My kin and I, our riddles are separate from each other. We've made a tacit agreement not to have one riddle affect the other. So please, take ease in mind knowing that what you see here before you is self-contained.
Great, thanks.
I bet he's the one that always has to lie.
It's a contractual thing.
Alright.
You head over to the eagle-headed sphinx as they look over at you and they go, so this is what we have today. Very well. Here is my challenge to you. They almost like in a flash, right? It almost makes you flinch, or you can choose to flinch if you would like. A number of incredibly sharp objects fly from the sky into the ground, embedding themselves into the sand. Upon a closer look, they appear to be hilts of various kinds of weapons. And the Sphinx tells you, I'm avoided when possessed. In journeys, I often rest. I am always within reach. Gather half of me for each. What you see here on the ground is that there are a large number of bladed weapons whose hilts are extending upwards. These include axes and swords. There are in total, and I can write this: 6 short swords, 7 axes, 9 glaives, 9 rapiers, 10 sickles, and 11 daggers, each equally as generic as the other, and they all look equally sharp as well. There are no distinguishing features on them. It's what you would envision if you had to think of what a sword looks like in your head. It's a sword. Looks like a sword, for example.
Avoided when possessed. To journeys I often rest. Oh. Huh? Okay. So we have, let's see, 6 plus. That's 52 weapons.
Is he making us play 52 pickup with swords?
That is a good point. 52. That's a good number. Hmm. Would that have anything to do with... No, that's 13 each.
This riddle hurts my head.
I don't even know what's happening in this riddle. Short sword, avoided when possessed.
I ask Holly if Holly has any idea of what this riddle is.
Holly, with their massive 16 intelligence, will simply reach over to one of the blades just to, interact with it, which seems like a good start, and attempts to pick up one of the swords. But as Holly grabs one of them, they kind of reel back with their trunk momentarily, as and they tell you that the hilt is sharp.
The hilt is sharp.
I will go and touch another one, but be careful to, not cut myself. A different one.
You pick up another one gingerly and carefully, and when you pick it up, you also feel that same sharp sensation that Holly did, and presumably you immediately let go.
Are they all in a random assortment everywhere?
As far as it looks, there appears to be no rhyme nor reason to the assortment that they've been placed down into the ground.
Sure, I'll let go.
You let go, but after just a moment of holding on to it.
In journeys, I often rest. What do you rest?
Growl, you don't happen to have a dagger, do you? Or any weapon?
I think I had a staff.
Maybe like a starting item dagger?
I do not believe I have that. All I had was my fist.
Imagine Holly just pulls a dagger out of her pocket. Holly's packing.
Avoided when possessed. In journeys, November. What do you rest?
I was thinking you rest in like a scabbard, maybe?
Yeah. This one's avoided when possessed.
Immediately.
Okay. You hold on to the weapon a little bit longer. As you hold on to the weapon, the sharp hilt of it is hurting to hold on to.
Ow, 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 drop, ow.
You
If
drop
I
the
look
weapon.
at the hilts, do they? I mean, like, do all the swords have the same patterns and the axes have the same patterns? Or, I mean, do they collectively have any, like, similar pattern?
All of the weapons appear to be equally generic in their appearance and have no distinguishing physical features of any kind.
Oh wait, these weapons, they're not in the ground, they're on the ground, right?
They are sticking blade first into the ground with their hilts extended outward. So they're jammed into the ground essentially, as if someone stepped directly.
What about the one that I picked up and let go of? That too.
That one is now simply sitting on the ground.
Okay, cool. That one, I will try and pick it up by the blade.
I'll be right back. I just dropped my thing everywhere. So,
Yeah, you go and pick up it by the blade. Oof. Ow.
Ow, drops. I said drop for the second 10. God damn it.
Okay. There you go. I'll be nice.
Many thanks. Hmm. And I'm guessing you don't want to pick any of these up for us.
Are you talking to Holly?
The Black Wing Sphinx.
Why? Why would I pick them up for you?
Because you put them there.
If my riddle proves too difficult, perhaps you need one of my siblings' easier ones.
No, this is an easy riddle, so I'll probably save it for last.
Okay. You head on over to the Sphinx in the center. He says, "Ah, I see that your thought processes are currently aflutter."
Yeah, well, I've basically solved that other riddle, so I thought I'd come here and, let them feel a bit better about how long it takes me to do their riddle. I don't want them to feel bad.
Make a persuasion check, Ray. Or deception, I guess, in this case.
What makes you think I don't know the answer, DM?
Of course. Sounds like somebody, you know that feeling where someone's like, I got this, and you're like, uh-huh, sure you got this. Very well. Here's mine, a little less visually complex than the others. You see before you a piece of paper, a stick of charcoal, and a small piece of flint. And that's it, just appearing on the ground. The Sphinx then rhythmically says out loud, "Frozen flame and floating stone, shadowed light and silent song. These things within only fictions reveal the contradictions."
reveal the contradictions.
Can you write the items as well?
Yes, thank you. Do not be afraid to damage any of the equipment here. I can conjure it up again instantly and reset the provisions.
Okay. So, isn't a charcoal maybe frozen flame? Silent song. Would flint be floating stone?
I'd like to set the piece of paper on fire.
You strike the sheet of paper with the piece of flint and light it aflame as the paper disintegrates rapidly. The Sphinx waves with their paw lightly, and the provisions reappear.
You know, where I come from, when we have, like, questions and riddles, you normally get things like 50-50 where half the wrong answers are removed and phone a
ask the
friend.
audience.
Yeah, ask the audience. There's not
It's
really
not.
audience here. Maybe you count as the audience.
Is this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Maybe. Wait. So is our task to point out which item is a contradiction, or are we supposed to do something with the item?
We'll say that would be let me see. Do either of you have any? Ari, you have history. That will work for this instance. You vaguely have heard riddles in your life, here and there throughout your history proficiency, perhaps from your dad. If a riddle gives you information or provisions like this, it must be relevant to the riddle. There are no
Okay. I
a
think.
riddle must be complete.
All right. Growl grabs the piece of paper, puts it over the flint, and then does a charcoal rubbing on top of us. Does it reveal anything?
Right. No, nothing seems to be revealed, though it does seem that the charcoal does indeed mark the paper of no issue.
I thought there'd be like a pretty picture.
Can you remake the paper, please?
They wave their paw, and the paper is remade.
Hey, I was drawing something.
That's fine. We can draw it again if need be. I'd like to try drawing on the paper.
What would you like to draw?
Like, you do not know.
The moon.
Oh wait, what if I just write frozen flame and floating stone?
You, instead of drawing anything, you write the words frozen flame and floating stone on the paper.
And I set it on fire.
It disintegrates. They waved their paw again and created another piece of paper.
Alright. What does paper comes from trees, flint comes from rock, and charcoal comes from things on fire?
Mm-hmm.
That's like it's no, wait, no. Tree, earth, fire, where's air and water? And then I don't know. Oh wait, I don't have any water powers or air powers. Basically. Something. These are certainly challenging. Oh, the burb.
What do you mean?
Burb, help them. They're struggling.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen, you guys. Totally forgot there was a session.
What?
Oh my
You're not gonna
god.
help us with riddles?
What's going on?
We're doing riddles.
We're doing.
You can join in.
We're doing riddles.
What riddles?
And
Literally,
we're
like the
struggling.
two stupidest characters.
Hang on, let me turn on my other monitor.
What was the
How
silence?
would you explain to Crystal what you have found so far? Because perhaps in the process of explaining it, a eureka may occur.
Alright, sure. I'll explain one of the riddles. So, let me turn the music down a touch. There we go. So one of the riddles is there's a load of weapons stuck in the ground, and the handles of them are pointing up. And there's various different types. There's 6 short swords, 7 axes, 9 glaives, 9 rapiers, 10 sickles, and 10 daggers. If we pick them up, we take damage. If we pick them up by the blade, we take more damage. The actual riddle text is, I'm avoided when possessed. In journeys I often rest. I am always within reach.
Written somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah,
right here.
it's
Right here.
Gather half of me for each.
Wait, so what about the blade? Sorry?
The blades are in the ground,
Okay.
and if you pick it up by the handle, you take damage. If you pick it up by the blade, because we picked one up, and it dropped and then dropped it, but it didn't go back into the ground, it just flied flat on the ground. So then we tried picking up by the blade, and we took 10 damage.
Good. Where are we right now?
Here, to be
Awesome.
clear, there are 3 separate riddles here. This is one of the 3.
Oh shoot, hang on, my graphics acceleration.
No, not the graphics acceleration. Anything but the
Kind of
graphics.
annoying that I have to turn it off just to watch videos. Okay. Did you try picking it up by the handle and the blade?
You can try that if you like.
Sure.
Are you nameless or Sin, by the way?
I don't know. Are we making lots of skill-based rolls?
There's not been much yet now.
I mean, I think I was nameless last time. I can stay as nameless for now, then I'll switch if we need to.
Okay. All right, you pick up one of the blades, nameless. As you touch one of the blades, you feel that the hilt of it is incredibly sharp, and it feels quite painful. You presumably immediately let it go.
Okay.
So
Can we just pick it up with Mage Hand? Like, what is the purpose? What is the goal of this riddle?
it's like energy drink. Sorry.
In each riddle, you must present your answer to the Sphinx. So the Sphinx is expecting a certain answer. You must present it to the Sphinx. If you're wrong, you suffer a consequence.
And that consequence was 90% of your life force.
And the riddle is that scrap paper thing?
There's 3 riddles. So the first one about the feathers is one riddle. The second one about possession and weapons is the second, and then the third one
Wait,
is
I don't see where the one about feathers is.
You might have to scroll up.
Oh, hold on. I did the OOC chat, that's why.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Yes. Apologies. The scrap paper inside of the campaign channel is not related to this. I was explaining
Oh.
that is unrelated.
Okay.
Explaining that in the maroon ship, the scrap papers you found seem to imply that the treasure was under the sea in the Kraken's lair. But actually, if you went to that spot and you found the treasure there, it would tell you to turn the map upside down and reveal where the treasure actually was, which is not under the ocean. Rather, the treasure was on the moon. And thus, the Saloon Adventure was a sort of microcosm of that whole storyline, as it were.
I object that I had to find a way to breathe air, but we didn't have to find a way to avoid our heads exploding due to pressure.
You would have figured something out.
Okay, so what do all the weapons have to do with the first riddle? Do we have to arrange them in a way, or give like?
So the first riddle is the feathers, and
Feathers.
yeah.
All right, that one is above growl and raised text. Hold on, let me.
Oh.
There we go.
The TLDR and this one is the bag also weighs the weight of one feather. And
So like, what are we trying to solve here? Like, I see a bunch of words, but what's the question? Like, what?
You must present what the answer to the riddle is, as
is
it's
the
not a question. Riddles usually, the way that riddles usually work is kind of like in this case, there is a command each riddle is asking you to do. When you believe you have succeeded in uh what it's tasking you with, right? Then you can present that as your answer.
Confused.
For example, in this riddle here that you are all standing next to, I'm avoided when possessed, in journeys I often rest. I'm always within reach. Gather half of me for each. When you believe you have gathered half of gathered half of me for each, then you may present that as your answer to the riddle, to the Sphinx.
And this one was the one where we can't pick up the blades.
What if I try to yank one of the axes real hard?
You yank one of the axes really hard, and your fist digs really hard into the incredibly sharp hilt, which deals a little bit of damage to you. Would you like to
Ouchie.
continue holding it, or you drop it?
No.
Can
What
we
if I
not
use my
just use
spectral
Mage
arm?
Hand to lift this stuff up?
You use your spectral arm to hold it aloft, Growl, and I'll get to your attempt in a moment in this. With your spectral arm, at first it feels fine. You're holding on to it for a few seconds with no issue. But you're starting to feel a sort of phantom pain sensation from the arm to yourself that starts off fairly mild at first, but is again gradually getting sharper and more painful the longer you hold it.
Ugh, ouchie.
so I
Let me
think
know if you want to go.
I think the solution might be because there's half of them are like sort of sword like weapons. There's if you add them up, that the amount of short swords, rapiers, and daggers are equal to the number of axes, glaives, and sickles, which are all curved weapons or curved blades. So I think it's just a case of pull up half of each type of weapon. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be the individual class of weapon. Just half of the, half of the straight blades and then half of the curved blades is my current thought process.
But I'm trying to think about why did I lose so much health?
You said no, I'm not letting go of the weapon. Would you like to change your mind about that?
I didn't say that, did I?
I don't
I
remember you
prefaced
saying that.
Ignore
Huh?
me. Here you go. You drop the weapon and you start feeling the spectral arms hurting you.
Oh.
And nameless, you try picking up one of the mage hands, and similar to Growl, at first it feels fine, but progressively there's like a phantom pain that you begin to start feeling as you are holding on to the weapon of your mage hand. That starts off like lightly dealing like 1 damage, but very progressively starts hurting more and more the longer you hold on.
I cast Levitate on one of them.
You cast Levitate. First you feel fine, but gradually it's like a massive headache that you start experiencing. It starts off benign enough, but it starts getting pretty intense the longer you hold it aloft. Would you like to drop it? or will you hold it?
And just drop it.
Okay, you drop the blade.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of, avoided when possessed, maybe when you
What do you mean
possess a
counts as gathering?
weapon.
Technically, isn't all the stuff already gathered in front of us?
Maybe we have to destroy half of it.
And the only requirement was to gather, but the blades are already all gathered here. So what are we still trying to achieve?
I presumed it was like gather them into one pile or gather them before the Sphinx.
Doesn't really specify though.
It's true.
I'm always within reach.
One thing they learned earlier as well, if this is meaningful, Crystal, is that by solving one riddle, it gives a hint for solving one of the others as well. So if there's a certain amount of stuckiness on one riddle, it is possible to just migrate to a different one in the meantime.
I feel like the feather one is probably the easiest, maybe? The other two, I really don't have a clue. Yeah, so I don't know. What we gathered was like the bag itself weighs one feather. So it's kind of like there's 109 feathers rather than 108 feathers. So it's just like, I'm assuming we have to balance the bag.
To set the scene here, you see that there is a very large scale on one side on the ground nearby. There is a bag which they had previously counted as having 108 feathers within it. The scale itself at this moment appears to be balanced, but the little scale reading that would normally tell you how much things weigh and like how much it is close to being balanced on the scale appears to have no lines on it to indicate as such, meaning you have to rely purely on your eyes to determine it. Thus bringing us to where we are now.
I'd like to put like one
Sheet of paper,
diamond.
flint, and charcoal. Is that a riddle?
Sorry, what was your question?
Your last comment in the OC chat. What is that?
Something else.
Oh.
Riddle.
Yeah, that's for a different riddle. I'll hide that for now to make it easier to see things. Here, all three riddles with no other text in between them, just to make this as clear as possible. There you go. How's that? Easier? This one is a bag of feathers, each heavy as stone. Balance it perfect, no lines to be shown. I believe, Ray, you were about to attempt something?
Yeah, I'd like to just try and put like one diamond on each side of the scale, and then I'd like to just scrutinize how level it looks.
You place one diamond on each side, right? Roughly about similar in size and shape. And you take a look, and the scale appears to be balanced.
I would like to do that, but with water.
Could you be a bit more specific about what you mean with water?
I'd like to pour like the same amount of water into each side of the scale.
Are you putting them in any kind of container?
Let me see what I've got. Okay, I presume like the water skins we get from like, you know, the various starting gear packs. I imagine they're the same, the water skins, like the same size and weight and dimensions. So
Right.
I'd suggest emptying out like one full water skin into each basket without putting anything else down. Assuming it looks like the basket isn't porous.
You take a look over to see if the container on each side is porous, and although it's a little tough to tell, they do look porous enough that that's part of the reason why sand doesn't accumulate inside of them. You don't think that a liquid could be held in here without some kind of container?
I don't suppose anybody just has like like a glass jar.
A rock.
Oh,
We have the cup of air that you can put water in.
do we have two of them?
Or
Yeah.
what if we just plucked one of his feathers and put it on?
Do you want to do that?
Do it.
You want one of the Sphinx's feathers?
Yes.
The Sphinx looks a bit taken aback. Nobody has ever requested this, but note that me specifically being here is not relevant to the riddle, but I don't mind offering one of my feathers up. They reach over and pluck out one of their large feathers, which are substantially bigger than the ones inside of the bag, which only contains 108, and aren't quite as large as these Sphinx feathers. This one's easily like 3 feet across.
Wait, there's a scale somewhere with the feathers on it?
Over here.
Okay. That's what Ray was talking about. I was confused. Okay, what other objects are in the vicinity that I need to know about?
Wait, if I put the feather on the scale by itself, does it weigh anything?
In order. First, the only objects of relevant note here are the scale, as mentioned, this bag, which is currently empty, and 108 feathers, which is currently separate from the bag, though originally the feathers were inside the bag. Growl, you place the large 3-foot Sphinx feather on one side, and it presses the scale down in that direction.
And then if I put a feather on the other side? Like a regular
You
one?
place a regular, normal feather from the bag, right? One of those feathers, presumably.
Yeah.
You place one of the smaller, normal feathers on the other side, and the scale appears to be balanced.
See? Grass solved it. Problem solved. That was our missing feather.
Why is a bigger feather the same weight as a smaller feather?
Because it's a special feather.
Are we on a slope?
You
I
are not
oh.
on this slope.
I pour water on the ground. Which way does it run, if any?
The water flows into the sand.
I hate the desert. Why are we here?
So if I put 54 feathers on one side, and then 53 in the bag, and then the big
Wait,
Sphinx
so
feather
what
on
was
that
the reason
side,
why?
does it balance?
Was there a reason why we couldn't just divide the feathers up and just put them on each scale? On each side?
Because the bag weighs one feather weight of weight.
But
Can I
we
do
don't
the math
have
right?
to
Oh, no, it's
worry
50.
about the bag.
55, not 54, sorry.
How do you know? It says
I don't know. It says the feathers.
It says
Yeah, but that's too easy, right?
a bag of feathers. Balance it perfect. It either meaning, I presume, the scale or the bag of feathers.
Okay, I put the bag of feathers in a bag of holding, and then I put another bag of holding on the other side.
Wait, no. Let me see my thing
One
first.
one thing at a time first. Growl's attempt first. You place 55 feathers on one side. Then you place the bag of feathers, so 53 on the other side, and then gingerly place the Sphinx feather on top. And it appears to be balanced on both sides.
That's my solution, guys.
What if you take one feather off on the other side and the big feather off? Is that still balanced?
You attempt to do so. You take off the large feather from here, and you take off one feather on this side, and it appears to still be balanced on both sides.
We're missing one feather, aren't we? If there's 108 feathers, we're missing one feather.
Yeah, but you took it off.
No, that was like oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Crystal, to see what you said you were doing something with a bag of holding. Could you please repeat?
I put the bag of feathers in a bag of holding, and I put another bag of holding on the other side of the scale.
So there's right now one bag of holding on each side.
Yes.
You place one bag of holding on each side of the scale, and it appears to be perfectly balanced currently.
I think the whole point is that something is up with the scale.
No line. I don't know what no lines to be shown mean.
Because there's no you don't really need a dial for it to be balanced, right? You can just tell visually, right?
Yeah, at least with small numbers of objects, it's pretty easy to tell.
The bag of holding is just a sorry, the bag of feathers is just a normal bag, right? Like it's not anything special.
No, it's as heavy as stone.
Oh, okay, but it's still malleable and stuff like a bag, right? Like what like heavy as stone, like how heavy is it then?
As
You
stone.
you pick up the bag, and it feels as heavy as you'd expect it to. And you pick up a feather, the feather feels as heavy as you'd expect it to. And the bag with 108 feathers in it feels about as heavy as you would expect it to.
Okay. I mean heavy as stone is kind of like stone can weigh however much you want it to. It just depends on how much you have. So like that doesn't really tell us anything. Can you just push 40, wait, how many is that? 54 feathers to one side of the bag and 54 feathers to the other side, and then put your arm in between, and now it's balanced. And there's no lines. You don't have to use a scale.
I say it again.
You see Holly's playing with the scale in the meantime. They keep leaping on one side.
Is Holly and Ray balanced if they go on other sides?
Yes, the scale is balanced when Ray's on one side and Holly's on the other.
That's weird.
What if I drew on a line?
What if you want on Holly?
Drew a line on the dial.
Line on the dial, I mean, there's no lines on the dial to indicate whether the scale is balanced, but just visually, you see
drew
Ray
one
and Holly
on.
look balanced, despite Holly weighing significantly more than Ray.
But I mean, but why? I've never seen a scale with a dial on it. Like, as in
Oh,
to
there's a
show that
dial.
it's
Wait, what does the
balanced.
dial say?
Nothing. It says nothing. But I've never seen a scale that has a dial where it says it's balanced. It's more like it's just to show how something weighs, right? But I've never seen that on balancing scales before.
I don't even know if you need to use the scale really.
They are balanced. Unless it means put on top of each other. Like a pyramid! I was getting a headache from all this riddles.
Ollie takes a nap inside of the scale. As you get off of the scale, Holly falls down and jolts awake.
I say we simply put. I say we put the bag in the middle and 54 feathers on either side. And then say that. Yeah, you know, that's my answer. I'm happy to commit to that.
Alright.
And lose all my XP.
As you're setting it up, Ray, in such a way, right? You place the bag in the center. You set one feather here. You see that as Holly is just kind of resting back into scale again, that it is perfectly balanced as one feather lies in that scale. As you're getting ready to place the remaining feathers in.
Wait, what? Holly is as heavy as the feather.
I mean, Holly was also as heavy as Ray, but they're not the same weight.
So there's something fucked about this scale, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying we just shouldn't trust the scale.
Yeah, but what else can we use? No, we just have
We
to figure
just don't
out
use the
what the
scale.
scale. Let's see. So the scale is clearly just balancing everything as long as the number is even.
But it balanced when it was 54 on one side. Was it? It balanced, didn't it balance when it was 55 on one side? And. Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it just balances out if the number is the same, I think. Right? I don't know. It's the sort of thing where you do try and error, but it costs us our lives. So.
You have that line of thinking there, Growl. Would you like to try testing it in some way?
What? The number? But I mean, couldn't you just put 54 on each side without the bag? It's just with the bag, then it makes the number uneven, and then you just have to put something else on the other side. Or just take a feather out. Actually, that doesn't really make sense still. I'm just assuming we're gonna use all the feathers.
I don't think we should do anything where we assume the weight of the bag.
What? You don't want to use the bag, but then it's just 54 on each side, which
No,
seems
we
too
don't.
obvious.
We don't do anything where we assume the weight of the bag. We can use the bag.
I'll put 54 on each side in the meantime. All right, here you go. Here's the current setup of 54 feathers on each side of the scale.
Okay. What if I stand in the middle? Does it feel flat?
Yes, it does.
If I shut my eyes, does it still feel flat?
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
If I shut my eyes, does it still feel flat?
Yes, closing your eyes does not change the flatitude of it.
Have I ever heard this riddle before? Not like the riddle itself, but like. Actually,
yeah, my head hurts.
yeah, like have I heard of this riddle before in like any context?
No, you've not. Like out of character or in character.
In character.
I will say Groud's intuition is the right direction to be going,
What Skrall's intuition
and that you are
is.
closer to the answer than you think.
That is just about the number. Like no matter like if you took out one feather and put Holly in its place, it's still gonna balance quotation marks because it's the same number of objects on the scale.
I say
I
we all get into the scale with the bag
I mean
and say
yeah,
that's our answer.
I do feel like I can't think of anything else, but like because I feel like we have to use the bag, and that counts as 55 feathers maybe, and then
Wait,
you just put something on the other
does the
side.
bag really count as if we put all the feathers in the bag? It just
No,
counts as one
because
object, right?
well, no, but I mean like it just counts as an extra weight.
I thought you said you were counting by the number of objects.
Yeah, so if you had 54, 54, right, and you put a bag on one side, that's like 55, and then the other side needs another thing, and then you just put Holly on top, or a feather, and then that's it.
I'm
And then
happy.
it
It's a little
balances,
hard
right?
to tell.
I'm happy with
It's
this
a little hard
answer.
to tell because it's such a precise amount, but it looks balanced at a glance.
There, that's my answer.
You
Would you
know
like to
what?
present that?
I'm scared.
Would anyone like to volunteer to lose health potentially?
Yeah, why not? Growl is mad. Griff is tired now. There. Got your solution right here.
The Sphinx takes a look over at the little scale diagram you have here with Holly on one side and the bag on the other. Um, just to clarify, is the bag resting on top of the feathers?
Yes.
No, no.
No.
Do we not want? Oh,
No.
do we not want to put the feathers in the bag?
No, because if we put the feathers in the bag, then that's one item.
Is it?
Yes.
But would it? It's not. It's no longer a bag of feathers.
Grau, you're the one presenting the solution. You may choose whether you would like to have the bag on top or with the feathers inside the bag.
Okay. Okay. Well, give me 1 second. I would. I'm gonna try and put it inside the bag or the feathers, and then does it change anything?
You carefully place the feathers into the bag, and no, it still seems to be balanced on both sides. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm scared.
Sure, why not?
You know, I'm scared, but I think Growl is too impatient for this, so give it to me.
The Sphinx looks at the answer that you present. Their teeth menacingly glow as they look down at you and say, "Congratulations, that is indeed the correct answer. You have successfully balanced the bag of feathers."
Yo! Growl starts doing some breakdancing and dances in Nameless's face. Yo!
I want to throw the feathers at the
It was
Sphinx.
eating fish. What did you do?
I solved it.
What was the answer?
This.
It's just the same number of objects.
Yeah, but what did you
Oh, I
do?
better put the feathers in the bag because it's supposed to be a bag of feathers, right? And then we
Would
just
It
put
was wise
Holly
of
on
you.
the other
The,
feather.
the
Huh?
Sphinx even notes that, saying it was wise of you to place the feathers at the bag immediately before presenting them. Otherwise, it would not have been a bag of feathers.
Yeah, see? Oh, I'm so smart. I'm
Does it
wise as
matter
hell.
what we balanced it with?
No, so long as the bag contained feathers in it, and the scale was balanced on both sides with the bag on one side, the answer would have been sufficient. In another life, there was another group that had managed to balance the bag with all feathers inside of it, and 109 grains of sand on the other side.
How the hell did they count that?
It's
I
109
bestow onto you,
a pile.
Growled Growled, go ahead and bestow onto you some wisdom. You may use this if you find yourself along a train of thought and would like to see down that line of thinking further.
Thank you. That was very fun.
No, it wasn't. I want to throw the feathers at him.
I'm gonna keep his feather as a momentum.
The Sphinx jumps back and then just starts essentially taking like a little sand bath here.
I'm gonna put the feather in my hair. Alright, this one can eat my ass. Alright, I need this one. I feel like is a struggle, right? Are you agreeing with this one's the worst one?
I think this. You know what? I'd like to commit. So I just want to like, unless there's any objections, I just want to like quickly pull out like half of each. So like half bladed, or like half straight bladed, half curved bladed. Sort of throw them towards the Sphinx, but obviously do it quickly, like to try and take as little damage as possible. Literally just like pull by the handle, throw at the Sphinx, and then once there's like half of each, that's my answer.
By half of each, you may need to be more specific. As let me provide you the amounts again. It is not possible to get half of each easily because there are, and I'll place the exact amounts again. Here it is. Here's the description once more. There are 6 short swords, 7 axes, 9 glaives, 9 rapiers, 10 sickles, and 11 daggers, each equally sharp and equally generic. So if you're going to get out half, you may need to be more specific. Though Grau, you do have this wisdom, and if you would like to go down a certain train of thought, you may request it, and I'll tell you what Grau's intuition with her wisdom will reveal.
Oh god, Brow has no thoughts, but I'm not certain about this curved thing. Which ones are curved? It's only sickles and axes.
Grau, your wisdom that you have here activates momentarily, granting you insight into the nature of riddles.
Oh.
If a riddle
Oh.
proposes something to you with information, it must be relevant. That is to say, I am avoided when possessed in journeys I often rest, always within reach, gather half of me for each. Merely fulfilling one of the lines is insufficient as an answer to a riddle. It must fulfill
Yeah.
all 4 lines.
Hey, but I knew this. I want my wisdom.
Yeah, you're not
back.
expending the wisdom for that. It was just like a
Okay.
brief confirmation of something that you were already speculating on.
I'm avoided when possessed. Let me think of a weapon. When you possess a weapon. In journeys, I often rest. Journeys, I often rest. What do you rest on journeys? I'm always within reach. What's always within reach?
Let me know when you would like to expend your wisdom, and I'll tell you what the line of thinking reveals further.
Mm-hmm. Always within reach. I mean, could it be possibly that the weapons are just a distraction? Short swords, axes, glaives, maybe. Hmm. Wait, so, Ray,
Hello.
you said something about the curved weapons. Which are the curved weapons? And what would be half of that?
So the curved weapons could be like axes, glaives, and sickles.
I guess glaives. Okay. Hmm. But, yeah, but the
And
riddle.
and
I'm
there's
avoided
20
when
and
possessed.
there's 26 of them,
Enemies now.
which is half of the total number of weapons.
But how does that relate to the riddle? Journeys I often rest. What do you rest on a journey? Your feet. In journeys I often rest. And what is always within reach?
Scabbards are always within reach. A weapon.
They're all weapons. They're all within reach.
In
Technically.
journeys, I often rest. Is there a scabbard or something for these, or are they just the blades?
I think they're just the
You look
blades.
around. Yes, there are no scabbards to be seen. There are only the weapons, which are currently embedded into the ground, blade first, with their hilts sticking up. Though even the hilts are incredibly sharp, as you had witnessed earlier.
Oh, are they just like do they actually look sharp or do they just feel sharp?
Both. They both
What?
look and feel incredibly sharp.
Can you explain how a handle appears sharp? If
It's
it's
thin,
sharp, does it just not
and
become a blade?
that's a great question. At what point does a hilt just become an extension of the blade? These are semantic questions that will not be answered today. But what will be answered is that it looks sharper than a regular hilt would, and feels as sharp as well when you pick it up. Actually, sharper, as you had seen, with even when levitating or using astral arms, it still was causing pain.
I mean, what if we just like dug the dirt around the weapons? Could we can we reveal the weapons from that? Take it out from that?
I'm
You
avoided when
you
possessed.
dig out the one of the blades, and then it just kind of falls over to the ground with no issue.
Oh. And but if I try to touch maybe the blade, is it really sharp?
Wait, so you can get
Yes.
it out of the ground, which is what you just did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're
you
not
can
stuck or
see them.
anything. They can be pulled out, but they're just really
Oh,
painful.
okay. I thought they were stuck in the ground.
Is it like an Arthur situation? If you're worthy, you can pull it out.
Um,
So, even when pulled out, the
yeah, I'm
hilt
gonna
and the
switch to
blade are
Stin.
both still sharp.
I'll use creation and fabricate to make a scabbard for for however many blades we end up needing. I'm avoiding when possessed. Like possessed. Okay, I mean, I'm assuming it's not like possessed like by a spirit. I'm assuming it means like in your possession. In journeys, I often rest. Um, Usually blades are placed in the scabbard until they're needed. I am always within reach, like they're in a scabbard on your hip. Gather half of each.
You make some scabbards for the various weapons, and you have them laying around and ready to try and fit through.
Gather half of me for each. If half of the blade is covered by a scabbard, the other half is the handle. That's half, right?
Hmm. Oh my god. Hmm. Da-da. 10 sickles. Okay. Let's think about why. About the numbers. Why they have different numbers and not just an even amount. Avoided when
Some
possessed.
of them are also odd too, so it's not half of each. Half of each category, I guess.
Yeah. I'm avoided when possessed. Okay. Well, I think people are scared of daggers, axes.
I mean, they're all weapons, so I think they're like quote unquote equally avoided.
Some have different connotations, right? Some could be like soldier weapons, and some are like for thieves. Oh, well, we don't.
Maybe they just have. Maybe we just have to be within 5 feet of them when we've like picked half of them. Maybe we can just pick like designate half of them, and as long as
Wait,
they're
do
within
they add
5
up
feet
to an
of
even
them.
number? Let's see, 13,
52.
22, 31. Oh, yeah. So if we just pick half of the total, that's also half. That should also count.
Yeah, you could get like you can get like 13 straight weapons and 13 curved weapons. Maybe they have to be like in the ground, and the ground is like the scabbard.
Yeah.
And we just have to sort of stand near them, or dunk them in the ground and stand near them.
Oh.
Or maybe we have to put them in a bag. Maybe you could
Bag
do
of feathers.
resting in a bag. Like have a
You want
bag
to
with
try
all
and
the
put one in the bag?
handles sticking out.
Would you like to go for that course of action then?
Can we use like the logic to think about that?
Oh, you want to use it's a Growl's wisdom, so it's Growl's wisdom to decide on.
Yeah.
What? Put them in a bag?
As in like
Right, so you would like to expend your wisdom for this line of thinking?
No, I don't know what it
Okay.
is. What? Huh? But what is that? Why is that relevant to everything? to the riddle.
So we have to gather half of the weapons, right?
Yeah, but what about the first 3 lines?
Yeah, but like, so you avoid a weapon when it's possessed, so you don't want to like hold it, right? And that's sort of clear. We don't want to hold it because we've been taking damage.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
In journeys, you
Sure.
often rest. Well, there's no scabbard, so maybe they can be like resting in a bag. Like, you know,
Okay.
you have weapons in a bag, and then as long as we're within, say, like 5 feet of the weapons,
Oh, okay.
they're within
Okay.
reach. So the idea is to
Okay.
throw them all into a bag of holding with like the hilts coming out of the bag of holding, and we do like 13 of each.
But there isn't 13 of each.
I'll type out 1 second.
You mean like 13 bag? I mean 4 bags?
I'm saying we put that amount of each weapon in a bag and give it to the Sphinx.
Let me think. 5, 10, 15.
It adds up to 26, which is half of the total weapons.
Okay. Sure.
And it's also
Okay. Well, okay.
13 of each type of weapon. Like, well, in terms of
All right.
Kev
Are you really? Are you set on this, or would you want to use a wisdom point?
I mean, it's your wisdom point, so I'll let you choose. Like, because I have like no ideas of the other riddle. But I guess
Okay.
if
It just
we
depends on
do
how
get
confident you are with this.
if we do get this one though, if we did use the wisdom to evaluate this line of thinking, and then we solve this riddle, then we'll have another wisdom to use on the riddle that
Yeah.
we have no idea. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'd suggest you
Shall
use
we?
the wisdom.
All right. Growl shall use some wisdom.
Okay. Please clarify what your line of thinking is currently.
We're gonna hold a bag, which has 26 of the weapons gathered that Ray has put in the chat. And we will carry it on us.
Okay, got it. You go ahead and aim to go and pick up one of the weapons, Growl, to get ready to gather them up into a bag. And as you pick up the weapon, you expend some wisdom to get some insight to the line of thinking. 3 things stand out to you as you do that. 1, as you can contemplate the line of thinking, the more you think about it, the less it seems that the number of weapons is at all relevant to the riddle. The numbers of them seems intentionally odd in many places, and the variety of them seems to indicate that it's not possible to gather half of the weapons in any meaningfully distinctive way. You think about this as you hold on to this blade here that is sharp, and it hurts you as you're holding it. And as you're thinking about that, normally you would immediately let go, but your wisdom is telling you that there may be value here in holding onto this weapon longer than you normally would want to. Because there's the 3rd thing is that there's a sentence that Ray said earlier that is just circling around in Growl's head. We don't want to pick up the weapons. We want to avoid taking the damage.
So we do want to take damage.
You contemplate that as your wisdom has been expended, Growl, as you have gained significant insight. You may choose to continue holding on to this blade or let it go.
We want to avoid touching weapons, but there is something to do with specifically what weapons we pick up. Man, this is a struggle bus.
Yeah. You are holding on to this blade, Growl. Would you like to continue holding on to it?
Sure. And I'm waving it around.
Oof.
Okay, no, I drop it.
You dropped the weapon.
Okay, I kind of feel like that's not right. But we
I'll
are
type in the
supposed
chat
to
the sentence that Ray said that stood out.
Sure.
I said I knew the answer to this guy. Why did this stand? Wait, was there any context on why this stood out, or was this just a sentence that stood out?
It was a sentence that stood out to Growl after they used their wisdom, as it seems to like there's some connection there between something that is being avoided and the riddle itself.
I mean, is it possible that some of them are not just for murder? Some of them could be useful for other things. Like a sickle could be for like farming, an axe for cutting trees.
Maybe we just have to be half HP.
If I pick up a sickle, does that still hurt me?
Yes, it still does. Like it
Ouchie.
stings, so you let it go.
Ah! I'm annoyed.
Boop.
This is dumb. 7, 9, 9, 10, 11. Oh, what's the correlation between these numbers?
Your wisdom tells you there is no correlation between the numbers.
But why? But why are these? Why are these numbers like this?
What
Journey's
if
like
it's
off for rest.
what if it's us?
Us.
Yeah, you'd be avoided if you're possessed. You often rest on journeys. You're often within reach. Gather half of me. You know, I have no idea.
But what is half of you, right?
Half of the party.
Half of your soul. What if it's a friend?
So you.
I am always within reach.
How do you gather half of a friend? Also, for each what? Gather half of me for each. For
Maybe
each.
it's the party. Gather half the party.
Um,
And the party rests. Avoided when possessed. When the party
Is each person. Half of me is just being near the blade.
Maybe it's party.
what if half of us stand near the blades, and half of us stand near the Sphinx, and that's our answer?
Oh boy.
While at half HP.
Oh, man. Turns out the rest, I'm under the judge.
Did the other group get this riddle?
Yes, they did.
Damn it,
Oh,
now we
well.
have to get it. God fucking damn it. Ah.
I mean, they're supposed to be the small group. Which one did they get first? Out of curiosity.
They also got the scale, interestingly, and then they moved over to this one, and then they solved it second, and then they solved the last one last.
This is the last one. Frozen. I haven't even read it. Frozen Flame and Floating Stone, Shadow, Light, and Silent Song. You know, it really bothers me that it doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, it bothered me too.
Things with only fictions reveal the contradictions.
And to clarify, the three objects that were spawned over there were a piece of paper, a piece of flint, and a stick of charcoal.
Hey, okay.
And they remake them when we fuck around with them.
Paper, flint, stick of Charcoal.
Do you think you have an idea of what their name is, or are you just pondering it at the moment?
I'm pondering it,
Okay.
but I mean, I feel like that one has more hints.
I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster recently, and that's how I feel right now.
This must be painful for you. It's painful for me. This is like playing Professor Layton and refusing to look up the walkthrough.
I mean, the third one just has like a bunch of opposites.
Yeah, and you gotta find a
Stuff
contradiction.
that I feel like, is only talked about in like it's like weird random phrases I'll see in like books for metaphors. Those are the contradictions. So I don't know what the objects have to do with it though. I guess you can set the paper on fire and then freeze it. The flint is the stone.
Flintstone. Not a Flintstone.
The charcoal is the shadow.
Would you like to migrate over to that one for now?
I mean, Nameless can or Sin can.
Yeah, Nameless can.
Okay. It's actually a cute mental image to imagine Nameless just like batting away at the like their little paws at the various implements here. Cute.
Now that
Let
I'm
me know if
like,
you can do anything with this.
percolating on it, I think I think the answer is the I think the answer is we have to be 50% HP. Because if it's like
when you possess 50 HP in journeys are often rare.
So it's not like it's not 50 HP. 50% HP. It's
half of your HP.
Perhaps it's like pain. So like, if
when
you
possess
possess pain, you try to avoid it.
But you're always within reach. Pain. Well, I mean, I was thinking death. I'm always within reach of death. Possess injury. I arrest my injury. I'm always within reach. Gather half of me for each. We want to avoid picking up the weapons because they hurt. What if I try to break one of them?
All right. You pick up one of the blades and try bending it to shatter it, and it cuts deeply into your hands.
But does it shatter or not?
Yes, it shatters.
And does it just reform again or no?
The Sphinx reforms it by waving it.
My health.
Or maybe not the word hurt. Maybe not the word pain, but hurt.
Possess, and I'm avoided when I possess. What can you possess? Journeys I often rest. Your soul? Your eyes? Your feet? I'm always within reach. Was within reach. The ground. Your friend. For each. Ugh. Oh no, I can't. We can't lose to the other group, guys. How much longer do we have to solve this?
Till that goes to work, I guess.
Basically.
Yeah, which is when?
About 50-ish minutes from now. So you're not in a
Oh,
huge.
okay. Oh, okay.
Eating fish, don't mind me.
Nom nom nom.
We want to avoid picking up the weapons because they hurt.
As they hurt. Oh. What was it about the numbers that there was a meaning behind that?
Other way
each
around.
had different
As
numbers?
far as your
Oh, there's
wisdom,
no. Oh,
there's no relationship between the numbers and the answer to the riddle.
I'm pretty
It
sure
just doesn't seem to be a way to make a pattern.
these weapons must have no relevancy to the answer because we can't even touch them.
Is my cell phone working?
It's working. It's that you could use a divine intervention.
I still feel like you kind of just put half in like, just put each in like a scabbard, you know, like a way of holding it.
We
Yeah,
don't
but
have
we
the
don't have a
scabbards
scabbard.
yet.
We don't
Oh,
have
dude,
it has
two
three.
scabbard.
I don't think that's the direct way to solve it. I feel like that's a potential solution.
I'll tell you what, if we get a good solution to either this or the other one, I'll happily use my divine intervention to try and get some help with one of the riddles.
Sure. We need to get one, at least one. Oh, Journey sign off that.
As for the third riddle, I see other contradictions, but I'm not sure how I'm supposed to go about it.
It's something to do with
Oh,
the
would you like to
phone.
try? Would you like to try something?
Um,
I mean, I feel like they're all actually no.
there's
Yeah,
nothing
I
I
feel
can
like they're
really
all
try for
something.
this one. I just like it feels like it's straightforward, but I don't really know like how the answer's supposed to be presented.
I feel like they're all supposed to. They all have something to do with fire. Because flint makes fire. Charcoal comes from fire. Paper also can burn from fire.
Yeah, floating stone is the flint.
Yeah.
Maybe it's literally
Shadowed light.
just
And
set
charcoal
something on
comes from
fire
the light.
and say, fire
You did
cannot be
that twice
frozen.
already.
No, but as in declaring it as the answer. That so we set it on fire. We say, flame cannot be frozen. They make it again. Drop the flint. See stones do not float. Set fire to something again. There's no shadowed light. And then bat the flint against the seal to make sound and show that songs can't be silent, like percussion. There you go. That's
Could that
my
be something
answer.
to do with the moon? It's a floating stone. It's frozen, like ice. It can get. It's like shadowed light. The moon.
What moon?
Draw a picture of the moon with the charcoal on the paper, and then set it on fire.
I would like to ask the Sphinx if it will remake the items as we're explaining the contradictions.
Yeah. Who did that with paper twice? Do you remember?
So your question is whether or not they will create the items wall in the middle of your explanation.
Yeah.
They shake their head.
Oh my fucking god.
I need to walk. Let me think about this. I'll be right back.
I mean, like, if we set fire to the paper, that's flames can't be frozen and light can't be shadowed. Then we drop the stone to show that stones don't float, or we drop the flint to show that stones don't float. And then we and then we make some noise with the flint or the charcoal. There we go. Easy.
Shadowed light is just shadow. You can use the flame to create a light. And
Yeah.
then
Oh, actually, yeah. Oh no, the flame would be like. Oh wait, maybe it's so the flame shows. It shows light, but it also shows heat, which shows why it can't be
Wait,
frozen.
say that again?
And the flame would show heat as well as light, which shows why it can't be frozen.
Yeah.
Then we drop the.
I mean, as soon as you freeze a flame, it disappears. So if there's no such thing as a frozen flame in reality.
The thing I'm not sure how we contradict is a silent song with the specific items. Unless
Maybe we're not supposed to. A silent song is just a silent song. I mean, maybe the Sphinx will accept an explanation where like a song is something that you have to hear. If it's silent, then it doesn't exist. This one feels weird, but it feels more straightforward than the other one.
I mean, reveal the contradictions. I don't really know what we're supposed to do with them.
well, I can see how we can make 3 contradictions revealed to the items, just not
Things
the
within
fourth.
things within only fictions.
Now, I prefer the what am I riddles.
It's kind of like a what am I riddle.
I don't know about that one. It's more just like a convoluted answer.
Paper, flint, charcoal. What can you do with paper, flint, and charcoal? Set it on fire. Paper and flint. What does paper and flint do? Nothing.
Shadow light could just literally mean
Like an eclipse.
paper that has been burnt by something that has light, which is fire, then becomes a shadow, which is charcoal. But both of those Well, I guess that's not really a contradiction anymore.
Floating stone. The earth. Frozen flame. A planet
For there
that's
to be a
died
shadow, there
out.
must be the absence of light.
Silent song. What are songs that don't necessarily mean you're doing it orally?
What? What'd you say?
What songs are there that aren't necessarily like oral songs?
Percussion. Songs
I
on
mean, it
paper.
could be a written song. Yeah.
Songs on paper, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, wait, hold on. What if we take the charcoal and on the paper
And
we
we
draw?
write out Britney Spears.
I mean, yeah, actually, like so we draw a small flame on the paper, and that's
Wait,
like.
what if we're supposed to contradict what's actually being written in the riddle? Like, we're supposed to create a frozen flame and a floating stone.
Then you can
Yeah,
do that on
maybe.
paper, because
Yeah.
because if you draw with charcoal on paper, like a picture of fire, well, that's like frozen fire, and
Because it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, we're creating this on the paper, so that's fiction. If we draw the stone on the paper, then that's a stone that's like floating. If we draw like a sun with the charcoal, then that's like a sun that's
The
shadowy.
silent song is literally.
And-
Okay,
and
what do we
then
do with the
sun
flint
that
though?
doesn't give
And the
off
silent-
light.
Yeah, and the silent song is we just write some notes and then we set the page on fire to
Say-
prove
on
how it's all
fire.
wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
do it.
Do you,
Sure.
do you want to risk your HP for this?
No, I can do it. I can heal. I mean, I also have stuff.
You have another character, Ease. So.
Yeah, but
So
I also think.
draw
I mean, I can also
picture of
survive.
Fire. Draw a picture of fire.
Yeah, so we draw.
Okay, yeah. So for the frozen flame, I draw fire on the piece of paper.
Okay, hold
It's
on.
frozen.
Let me make sure I'm following along, so that way I'm like that your solution is being presented as you would say. So to be clear, there's a piece of paper. Okay. And then
Okay, so we draw a flame on the piece of paper.
With the charcoal, yeah.
Yeah, with the charcoal.
your charcoal
So
does draw on the paper effortlessly.
that's a frozen flame. And then the floating stone, we can also draw. We just draw that on the paper. Wait, right?
Yeah, we just.
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's floating. Okay, yeah, we draw a stone on the paper.
Maybe above the flame.
Above the
Yeah.
flame.
Sure.
Silent song. We write a song.
Yeah, it's like
on
some
the
notes,
paper.
maybe some
Musical
lyrics.
note.
Yeah.
And what do we say for shadowed light?
A sun.
A
Picture of
sun.
Like a
sun.
sun because it's charcoal.
Oh, but we could like,
The flame is also shadowed light though.
but like,
The flame doubles as both.
it's so charcoal is a bit like a pencil, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We could like shade over the sun, like so not like draw over it, but like shade over it, so you can still see the outline, but it's like shaded over it.
Yeah. Sure. I like how this is how you draw musical notes.
You try drawing at the fountain tool.
When we hold it up,
It's easy. You
to
draw
the
one
thing,
line.
the stone is also floating.
Oh my god, how do you draw things?
But also,
freehand.
when we use the flint
That's how
to
you
set the
draw
paper
musical
on fire, the stone is also floating. So there's like 3 different floating stone tiers. Is Sphinx happy with that?
notes. Wait, so you're drawing
Beautiful.
a sun, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Then
god,
we're
what
like
happened?
shading over it.
Oh my god, okay. This kind of sun now.
Yeah. It ain't so easy, is it? It ain't so easy, is it?
Okay, you're right. It does stick. It's not even moving anymore. Oh my god.
Alright, cool. And then we present this and say, here are the contradictions, and then we set it on
And we
fire.
set it on fire.
I don't know. I don't feel like that makes sense.
That?
If we would just give him paper and charcoal, sure, but the flint.
No, we use the flint to create the fire.
But why does it need to be on fire?
Because
it's fiction. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, because the fire gives the flame heat, it gives the light, it gives the song sound, and then we drop the flint afterwards, and it falls to the ground. There we go, easy.
All right, go for it. You take your health.
I can give it to the Sphinx.
All right. Would you like to present this piece of paper as your solution to the Sphinx?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. I'm double checking something.
See, it's a double check.
If we don't get it right, we could just beat them up.
So you present this paper and then you light it on fire as you're presenting it, and you say, "This is the answer," just to be crystal clear.
I mean, that entire explanation was the answer.
Got it. The Sphinx looks over at the answer that you provided, and their teeth, just like the other Sphinx, gleams delightfully as they evaluate your chosen answer. The Sphinx tells you, mostly correct, but... And with that you feel the temporal lifespan of yours being shortened significantly there. Nameless, as you feel the ravage of time having taken a huge chunk of both your HP, max HP, and you feel your body feeling feeble.
Wait, I thought it was just damage.
Oh, no.
Well, because I had something against the
Temporal.
damage. Y'all didn't say
It
that.
It is an offer
Oops.
of time span.
I've been bamboozled. So can I not? Can I not use this? Wait, this?
Let's see what you got. Force of preservation. You avoid the worst parts of the actual damaging effects of old age by using this. However, you still incur the significantly reduced lifespan part, which has reduced your max HP and provided you disadvantage on everything for the meantime, until it has been reversed.
Yeah.
We'll find a way to reverse it.
The Sphinx will say to you, however, 2 of those are correct.
2? I don't know about the setting on fire part. 2 of those are correct. Floating. I think the stone one was wrong. Yeah.
The shadow one.
Maybe we just have to, drop the charcoal.
No. I think if the drawing is correct, 2 of them are correct, then it's a different drawing we need to do. Floating stone. I think maybe you draw the moon or something.
Oh. Wait, but the moon's real.
Would you like me to erase that current drawing of the rock and then? And do you want to keep the sun, or do you want me to remove something else? Or
I think remove the sun.
okay, you got it, Chief.
What else could it be? Shadowed light.
Oh wait, maybe shadowed light is just the
Maybe
moon.
it's the moon over
thought
the
you were saying
sun.
both.
The moon over the
not be
sun,
all-
guys.
It's a solar eclipse.
Yeah.
What about the song then?
I don't know. I feel like that's right. No,
I don't know. Tell me.
that seems right to me. Shadow light, floating stone, frozen.
Was it correct to set it on fire? I'll ask the Sphinx.
The Sphinx has a fantastic poker face and reveals nothing.
I don't think we're allowed to ask that.
Maybe we just drew it in the wrong order. Wait,
Well, no, we presented it to the Sphinx all at once, so.
yeah, but like they said two of them are right, and then floating stone and silent song were in the right order, but frozen flame and shadow light were not in the right order.
Mm.
Do you know? So the fire should be at the top, and then the rock, and then the sun, the shaded sun, and then the sun song.
What if we have to stick the flint into the paper, and that's like a floating rock?
As this is just an extension of the wisdom from earlier, Grau. If they've provided you something, it must be used, and using the flint seems necessary in some capacity. Whether or not that setting it on fire is a different question.
Oh god.
I mean, we agree just by definition, flint is a rock, right? Like a bit of rock.
Yeah.
Wait, what shape is this flint? Is it like a? I'm thinking of it as like a cylinder, like a narrow cylinder.
I was thinking of it like in Don't Starve, like a sharp stone.
I don't know what Don't Starve looks like. Let me see. Don't Starve flint. Oh yeah, it's closer to the shape in Don't Starve. It's like sort of jagged, unnatural, not like something you'd buy from the store. Or not unnatural. That would just be natural, wouldn't it? Like a natural piece of flint that you'd pick off the ground.
Okay. Floating stone. Alright, so what do you think?
I got nothing.
I have no idea. Floating stone. I still think it's maybe a planet or the moon.
I think the moon is good for floating stone,
Sure.
but it also works for shadowed light.
Shadow light. I mean, it could be that we just drew it in the wrong order. But then again, we weren't the ones who drew it. So maybe it doesn't matter. Oh, let me draw. Oh, let me draw.
Beautiful. I like how you went with the kind of like halo around the sun instead of like, the little like
Because
rays.
I couldn't do the rays. It kept sticking.
Okay. If you are planning to present this, please clarify specifically what this is.
Oh god. I don't want to present. I don't believe this is it's frozen flame, floating stone, and the shadowed light, the moon. I mean, the sun with shading, and then the silent song.
I don't.
But then the flint. What? You sure you use that to set it
Well,
on
we
fire?
use the flint to create the fire because it's fiction.
Sure.
Like this piece of paper, it's like it's not real. The stuff that we're drawing.
Sure. Whatever
Right.
you believe.
The picture for the shadow light has to match. I think that one doesn't match right now.
The what?
The picture for the shadow light.
What should
Holly
it
is a
be?
team member here, and
Would it
as
be?
usual,
Wait, did
inadvertently.
you draw an
that
eclipse?
wasn't
Is that
the-
what you drew?
I just shaded the sun again. What does Holly say? What does Holly do?
Holly's always inadvertently leading to useful information because they're a party member technically. You see that they're just like, while they're waiting for all of you to deliberate, they're just picking up the flint and just tossing it in the air and playing with it.
So we have to use the flint.
Maybe we should.
They're getting some serious airtime on that flint.
Maybe we should throw the flint at the thing.
The flint. So the flint is supposed to float? Maybe? I have no idea, honestly. Holly, what do you know?
Holly's puzzled. They just like playing with some of the things that are conjured sometimes.
No, I don't know.
How do we
I'm too
use the
scared to
flint?
lose hell.
I mean, I could always maybe use Aura of Life. I don't know how the Sphinxes would take that, but you know.
Frozen flame. Flame. Frozen flame. Flame. The flint. What's the flint for?
Maybe the flint is to
Holly.
like cut something. What's Holly doing?
They're just flying around with the flint for fun.
Holly, what do we do with the flint? Paper. What do you do with flint? Apart from set things on fire.
You can use it. You can sharpen it and use it to cut things.
Is the flint the floating stone?
I
Not
feel
really
like
floating, though.
we've been able to do pictures thus far, so
I think the pictures make sense, right? But we have to do something with the flint.
yeah, we use the flint to set the paper on fire because it's fiction.
No, but it's already fiction in the paper. Why would setting on fire make it any more fictitious?
It just proves it isn't real and it could just disappear at any point in time.
And it uses,
Well,
and
you
it
are
uses
welcome
the
to
flint.
present that again.
No, but we still have to figure out shadowed light.
Can we
I
draw
don't know.
like?
I just thought that maybe
maybe like
in
a
the wrong
lampshade.
order. Shadowed light. What else is shadowed light? So could that not also just be the moon, but when it's half covered, like a half moon?
You know
Right?
what? I like that. Sure, why not?
Sure.
Make the half moon.
How do we delete it?
What are you deleting? I can help you.
What if it's one picture?
Delete the sun, and then make a half moon.
If it's one picture, I can't think of anything that's like a song that's also everything else.
I don't think it's one picture. They said it was two that was right. So maybe if that's we can't have the moon twice. So what else is a floating stone? What floats?
Keep in mind, Ray, you did mention you might consider divine intervention if you would like. Also, because you see that Nameless is currently like bereft of age at the moment, which divine intervention could also fix.
Yeah, I was thinking because there's no point like divine intervention because we need to get all three of the riddles right. So there'd be no point like to divine intervention to simply to not know the other riddle answer. But like, if Nameless is already half dead, is another 90% that much worse?
The silence.
Sorry, what was that question?
I'm saying that, if someone's already injured, like 90% of 10% isn't it the same as 90% of 100%?
True.
All right, but we got to think. What's the last thing for floating stone?
The moon, the flint.
The flint. I don't know. Maybe we do need the flint to set things on fire. Floating stone. Flame. Or it could be like if ice is hot. Holly, stop.
Holly just floats in place with the flint and stops moving.
You float with the flint. Is that the floating stone?
What if we... Okay, what if we draw Holly with the flint, and then when we're handing it to them, have Holly there with the flint floating?
But does a flint really count as floating if it's being held?
Technically, yeah.
Do you feel like it does have to do with the moon though? When you float when you're in space? Maybe like a star. Does a star count? I don't know, guys.
Yeah. No, a lot of my creative energies was on the original drawing idea.
I've run out of ideas. I can only think of the moon. I can't think of anything else. Or the Earth. Or just a planet.
We could ship that.
Alright, go
I don't
on.
know how it's
Go on
using.
then,
I don't know how
let's
it's
get
using.
on
I don't know how
fire.
it's using. I don't know how it's using a flint unless using a flint counts as setting it on fire. But given that the flint has been brought up again, perhaps the flint isn't being used.
I think the flint is not being used, but I don't know. I don't know what else to do with it.
Maybe we use the flint to simply cut the paper. So rather than set it on fire, we just cut the paper.
Hmm.
So
we don't
we
need
say,
flint to cut the paper.
I mean, flint is sharp, right?
Yeah, flint's pretty sharp.
Yeah.
Okay.
it
Can be
is.
sharp.
So we have the paper, we explain the ideas, and then we cut the paper with the flint, showing how it's not real, rather than setting it on fire.
Oh, I feel like it does the same thing as the fire, though. Flint. Flint? I mean, you could use the flint to cut the charcoal as well. But I don't really know how that would happen. You make it into a pencil. Right?
I mean, we already kind of have a pencil.
No. I don't know. These riddles are driving me crazy.
I mean, we always have the option of just not doing the riddles.
Yeah, but now that we know that the other group did it, we can't lose.
I mean, true, but
They also have a lot more people.
Divine
than
intervention
us.
is at your fingertips, Ray.
divine intervention to what? Get 2 out of 3 riddles and then just lose the last riddle. Or can I divine intervention
Also,
and get 2 riddle answers?
you could also, restore nameless back.
We'll do that later. It's fine. Nameless will be alright.
Do that tomorrow.
2 for 1.
Alright. What's the plan, guys? Just sitting here.
Either I guess we can try to submit this answer again, or we can tap out.
Why don't we submit again and then get help?
As in, get help before or after submitting it?
Well, I guess I still don't really think this is right, so maybe, yeah, why don't we get help?
Would divine intervention restore the age and provide a clue?
Yes.
Alright. Bringing out the sulfur. Wait, would it provide help on all the riddles or just one?
All of them.
Alright. I'll flip out the sulfur and ba-da-ding.
Ga-ding. Your call for divine intervention is quite literal in this case, as your phone call is empowered. That's the first time I've ever said your phone call is empowered, but here we are.
Your phone call is empowered to us. Please stay on the line.
Presumably you give the gist of the situation.
Yeah.
The first thing Dragon Dad does is go, "Oh, that won't do." Ugh! As the divine light courses through Nameless. And Nameless, you feel that the threat of age is no longer pertinent to you as you find your lifespan being restored back to normal.
He's not even here.
They're eating fish.
Did it? Yeah, here you are, restoring them back, and they even here to say thanks.
God.
Shake my head.
It's fine. Good deeds don't need thanks. Just orbs.
The first thing Dragon Dad does is they go, "Give me a moment to consult with the Celestials."
That means he's going to talk
Get
to his
placed on a
poker
brief hold.
buddies. I don't know why they have poker in Celestia. It doesn't really seem like the thing, but
You the Dragon Dad returns and then says to you based on the correspondence that I've received, it seems that I'm impressed that you are much closer to what seems like a reasonable answer. I think there is wisdom in what fHolly is doing, perhaps without them realizing. That does seem like akin to a floating stone. And you had brought up a lampshade earlier. That may be that final piece of the puzzle as well. As for the others, the other riddle, over to here. The elders believe that pain, in some capacity, is certainly pertinent to the answer. That seems to make the most sense. Half of pain, however, is a little bit trickier to understand completely. And then the divine intervention cuts out as it's exhausted so much of its power.
alright. Lampshade and flying hollow.
How come so we only need to draw 3 things then?
Who knows? But well,
Or did we even have to draw the lampshade? Or we need a lampshade?
I say we draw a lampshade to the moon, get rid of the circle, and simply have fHolly as the floating rock.
Be clear, Dragon Dad is not saying to draw a lampshade, but much like the stone that fHolly is floating over there, to make one.
Okay.
Can paper be used as a lampshade?
There's nothing that would stop a paper from being used as a lampshade.
Yeah, so if you create light and then you put paper over it. Right?
I have the light cantrip, so maybe we can just like make a small light and put it behind the paper.
But what about if we've gotten rid of 2 things, what if we needed frozen flames still?
Then we set the paper on fire, and that gives us the
Nothing
heat.
yet.
That gives the heat and sound.
No, but we're not trying to we're not trying to like disprove the contradiction. Like we don't need sound. We need the silent song. We have the floating stone. We have the shadow light. We don't have a frozen flame though.
You do recall that
assuming-
the Sphinx said 2 of the things you had were already correct.
Yeah, so maybe
Oh.
the frozen flame
So that's
and
weird
the
then.
silent song is right. So we just need
that's
the...
so. I find that so weird. But okay, fine. Okay. So just make light and then cover it up, cover with the
Yeah.
fire, with the paper, and then just keep
floating rock.
the
There
stone
you
in
go.
the air. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Since Nameless is so like wants to volunteer.
Are you changing anything on the drawing here? Sorry, I don't know if you wanted me to. I knew I drew that moon.
Get rid of both of the moons.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, whatever. The way Foundry handles like things within things is so annoying. Okay, so please clarify specifically what you were doing once more.
I'll present the paper, and cast the light cantrip behind the paper to show that it's being like a shade, and then Holly will just fly and have the flint. Holly can like hover above the paper.
Oh, like hovering the flint above the paper.
Yeah. Also acting as a bit of a shade.
All right. Are you presenting this ray?
Sure, why not?
You go and present it. The Sphinx's teeth gleam once more sharply as they look down at the answer you provided, and they say, "Congratulations, that is indeed what I had in mind. You have revealed 4 different contradictions, although they kind of look at Holly. It's not perfectly floating, but it's sufficient."
Those are my anger marks. Wait, out of curiosity, what did the other group do?
Yeah,
They
how is this solved
used
in another
magic to
life?
make the float, and they otherwise figured out the other 3 pretty quickly.
Did they do the same thing?
Shut up. Pretty quickly. What do you mean?
Sorry. wait, hold on.
Wait,
the
they
same
drew fire as well? And drew
Yeah, they
music?
figured out the drawing the fire very quickly, and like they just drew it immediately, and then since they drew that, they immediately went for the silent song. They got stuck on the other 2 for a little bit, but then they just like gambled on it, and it worked.
What did they do for the
It
light?
just bothers me that 2 of them are drawn and the rest aren't. It's
You bring that up to the Sphinx, who will tell you 4 drawings would have also been sufficient, but the rock you drew was not floating; it was just a rock.
oh, so we could have drawn a floating rock. I'm amazing at drawing. I could have drawn that. This stupid chuckle. I break the
Then
chuckle.
how did we need the then if we just drew everything, how would that be using the flint?
Sorry, let me take a look at my notes here. 1 second. Because there were 2 possible solutions. One of them was drawing, and the other one was that.
You know what? I'm just gonna take it as a win.
Growl's angry. That did not make her feel good.
I'm going to saunter back here and said, as promised, Mr. Blackwings, I already knew your answer, and I've saved you your riddle to last to make you feel better. You're welcome.
The Sphinx seems both annoyed and amused at this at the same time. You have wisdom, right? Please tell me if you have a train of thought you would like to investigate.
Can I use wisdom to suggest a train of thought? Like a train of thought about pain.
It's to do with pain. I'm assuming we use the weapons to hurt ourselves, right?
I'm thinking maybe we have to we use the weapons to go to 50% HP. That's my theory.
Yeah.
You investigate this train of thought, Ray. That seems incredibly plausible and almost certainly the correct answer.
Along
so you
with
were
this
right.
wisdom.
Or...
I mean, I said I was right the whole time. The Sphinx just didn't believe me, and I, the player, didn't believe me, but Ray knew. All right. Can I?
I think I just didn't know how you could make yourself half though, because they only do like 10 HP.
Well, you just probably
right?
have to hold it. With the wisdom, does Holly have to do would Holly have to do it as well? Because Holly.
Yes, because Holly is a party member, as we've established.
Okay.
So we all have to hurt ourselves.
You know, let's walk towards them as well, while we're holding these things.
Menacingly. Growl, you're already a little injured, and so you pick up the blade and hold on to it. And as you get to half HP, the blade stops hurting.
So earlier, I could have just held it on the whole time. He was trying to help. Damn.
Ray and Holly, will you do the same?
Yeah, sure.
And Nameless is not here, I think.
Nameless is dead. I'm actually gonna log out.
Oh
I'm dead.
no,
I'm gonna go
you
take a
got
nap.
divine restored.
Yeah, I
He
think I
got
heard
you.
that. Are full health? Okay, I put myself at full health. I'm gonna go die in bed. Good night.
See you
All right.
Bye.
Good night. I presume that Nameless can bring themselves to half HP and then back up anyway. They sounded really sleepy.
Alright.
All right,
We're
you
here.
present this as the answer, Ray? Or Growl, who would like to present it? Or will Holly present it?
We're all presenting.
I'll present it. I feel like I've
You present
invested a
your
lot
dam-
into these riddles, so.
You present your damaged self to the Sphinx, who looks at you. And they have sharp canine-like teeth inside of their beak. It's super unnerving. They say to you, "Fine, you've got it correct."
I said I knew it. This whole time I said I knew it.
She really did.
They did say it. In fact, Ray had said the correct answer 2 times, on separate occasions.
What, for that one riddle or both riddle?
On that one. To go down
Oh
a-
yeah,
to
I
go
did.
down a-
I did feel like that was plausible, but it was just because like I felt like the HP was only going down in tens, so I didn't think that made sense because that wasn't half. But I should have just held on for longer.
Am I
was-
right in
was
thinking
a
that
coward.
that basically all the lines were like about pain or hurt? So you avoid pain when you possess it.
Yeah,
You get pain from journeys, so you rest. There's always potentially pain within reach, and then go to
Yes,
half
those
health.
are all correct.
yeah,
Cool.
that
Yeah,
does make sense.
That's all
yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
Your
I did.
interpretation was accurate.
Yeah, I was kind of 80% sure on your answer, but I don't want to commit. I was too scared.
I fly up to the Sphinx and sort of cough expectantly.
Very well. I see that you have successfully navigated through all of our riddles. And I see that you've placed in so much work and energy into this. I'm very, very impressed at your deductive skills. And although beyond here there is nothing, because this is but a figment, isn't it?
Oh my
And
god.
what a shame to realize that I am but here as essentially just a dream of yours.
Ah,
That's somewhat emotional.
no.
And I don't like that. So, given that it doesn't matter,
You can give us loads of
in a,
treasure.
s- in a swift motion, you see the Sphinx bite down into the other one's neck over here and
What the
drain
fuck?
him down to a husk.
I thought you were brothers.
I cheer.
Ah.
I cheer.
You're not gonna like form together, are you?
The Android Sphinx over here barely looks like they resist as the Gino Sphinx does that as well. If I'm ultimately going to disappear to irrelevancy in a moment, along with my compatriots, then perhaps I can at least use our energy to create something for you. This is normally one of the things that would have been inside that room. Perhaps you will find use of it. They conjure up something and they throw it down to the ground. They provide to you a... One second. Oh, whoops, I have to duplicate this. What?
You know what's more important than the reward? Not losing to the other group. That's the real reward.
It's true. They did have a lot more people, so they had more minds to work on these, which is always
We had 2.5.
yeah, exactly.
I like to think we did essentially work it out. We just needed like
Yeah,
a little
we
nudge
just
over the
wasn't.
edge.
Yeah, exactly. We just didn't commit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they got it, and then my mind, and then it's like, oh no, they're backtracking, no.
No, that paper one still annoys me. I just wait. So like the eclipse, I mean, yeah, like a half moon didn't count for shadowed light.
It would have counted if you had cut out the part of the shadow with the flint.
How comes? Did he have to use the flint? Is that why?
Yes, you had to use the flint in some way. Cutting out the part of the shadow would have counted.
But in no way in that riddle did it say you have to use everything.
I think
That riddle was so flawed for me.
We had to like intuit that all parts of the riddle are used.
No, no. That riddle would not fly by me. I did not like that one.
Yeah, like, I refuse. I refuse.
That one made the least sense, actually. Oh, but a staff.
Ooh,
Who's gonna use this?
Staff. Wait, does anyone of us use staffs?
No. I was given one once, but I never even used it.
I don't have any attunements. I have like my attunement is like dragon mask aspect and iron stones. I need a ring of a ring of 2 attunement slots. That's what I need.
Very good, too.
Yeah, I literally got something to give me more attunement.
Oh yeah, you do, don't you?
Wait, you do?
Yeah, because I didn't know what other feat I could take.
Oh.
It was like a feat. I didn't know what else to take, so I just took something that gave me more attunement.
What feat is that?
What was it indeed? Do not remember. Doesn't seem to be
I
on
think
my
it
list.
was like a feat. Technically, that feat wasn't allowed, but since you had it for so long, I was just like, it's
Oh,
cool.
I didn't know if it was allowed or not. It didn't seem like it was allowed, but no one said anything, so I was
Yeah. So I was just like, it's fine, it's whatever. And also, you see that the Sphinx provides you a scroll called the Chronicle of the Last Prince of Azamar. It doesn't look like it provides any like mechanical benefit, but rather it just explains a lot of the lore of the land. And that's it. With that, the Sphinx disintegrates to dust, and you see the path before you, which leads back to Candlekeep.
I sure hope this damage was imaginary. I say as I walked towards the path.
You say as you walk toward the path, the damage was not imaginary. You are injured.
God damn it. You know how many spell slots I had to remove? 5. Wait, was it 5? No, 2, 4, 7. Wait, how many? 2.
Look at how many spell slots you have left. How sad, how bad that you that you only have like 15 spell slots left.
Yeah, but like, because I essentially had like 5 or 7 spell slots to take away. That means I had to just like start eating the second level slots when I only used the first level ones. This is bad economy.
Oh my god. Do you hear the greed on this, Growl? Do you hear the greed?
boys.
You know what this class? You know what this class needs. This class needs, like, I don't know if it's the sorcerer feat or simply just like levels in sorcerer, where you can like change meta magic points into, or I mean sorcery points into spell slots at an even rate, and then I can turn all these higher level slots into first level slots.
So it's time to become a sorcerer, is what you're saying.
I don't have any more levels.
Yeah, I don't know where levels left. Um,
There was someone who used a staff, but was it ethereal?
I mean, Lazuli used the stuff.
Oh, was it Lazuli? Maybe it was Lazuli. It was someone.
Yeah, when they left, I
trying to find
temporarily
it.
borrowed the staff of like endless fireballs.
of note is that you don't actually have to wield the staff to get the benefits of it.
Huh? Since when?
I mean, that for this staff in particular, it just says as long as you have it on you, it works.
Like in my backpack?
Like on your person, but you don't have to like actively be going around and whacking people with the staff to make use of it.
But you've got to hold it, right?
It has to be attached to your person.
So I can just have it like tied onto my back?
Yeah, as long as you're attuned to it.
I don't have attunement slots anyway.
Yeah, I like how you were like perusing this hypothetical situation on usability, and then it turns out it doesn't even matter. You don't even have the slots for it anyway.
It's like, to be fair, like the competitive nature of my attunement slots is extremely high, especially given how 2 of them are like plot related to my character. So
Yes,
the only
yes,
real
yes.
slot I have to give up is the Io Infinity Stone Gauntlet, which is pretty good too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Wait, what are your attunements, Grow?
Obviously my bandages.
Your signature.
I had the ring, the explosive ring. I had the gauntlet, the ring. The prime, the ring that's giving me all the bonuses. I think that's it.
The primeval ring is not an attunement.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
I don't
it's just
think so.
highlighted
Let me
for
double
me.
check, but
It's not. That's why I was happy to take it originally.
Oh,
yeah, it's not attunement.
oh, then. Oh, well then okay. I did have the belt on, which gave me more something.
More key,
What
a
did it give me?
Dragonhide belt, maybe.
Yeah, it was a Dragonhide belt. It gave me a bonus to saving throws of keys.
Well, this gives you
There was that.
+3, so unless it gives you more than that, maybe this one's pretty
Yeah,
good.
so I don't know. I don't seem to have the belt on though. It's not attuned because I thought the ring was attunement.
I'm just looking. I'm just imagining Growl looking down at like, where's my belt? Why am I not wearing my belt? They have to hold up their pants comically.
Let it all out.
With some wily coyote logic going on.
Well, I'll worry about healing next week.
Yes. We are rapidly approaching the end of the session. There's only 2 left. The struggle, I think, is that Jojira and Jamie's health is like really ailing them at the moment, which
Oh
is
god.
making it harder and harder.